This video might make you want to reconsider buying a Ford Raptor. So this is my 2014 Ford F-150 Raptor. I haven't owned it too long, but in my short ownership, I have noticed quite a bit of things, and I've realized a lot of things that I wish I would have known before getting one of these. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get straight into the video with the first thing I noticed when I bought this truck. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was how big this truck really is. Now I know trucks are big, and I know you'd expect to be, you know, in a way bigger vehicle than your regular sedan. Now I didn't quite realize how big this thing is compared to a regular truck. Now before this, I actually owned a Toyota Tundra, the Super Crew Cab, so it was the 4 doors, and it also had the 6.5 foot bed, so it had the longer bed. It did not feel anywhere near this big. Now we're in a parking lot right now, and this thing feels huge. If you see this truck next to a regular F-150, you'll see a big difference, not really in length of the truck, but in width. Track width on a 2014 regular F-150 is 67 inches. Raptor is 73, almost 74, because it's 73.6, I believe, in track width. Now, that might not sound like a big deal, but then you throw on your bigger wheels, your bigger tires, and that's where it starts to add up. This truck is set up, it's got bigger wheels and tires on it. And with that being said, this is something that maybe you guys should consider when you're looking into buying a Raptor, on how much commuting you guys do in the city, if you guys require going into parking garages, because it is pretty big. Like if you're in a growing city like I am, every parking spot, every parking garage and parking lots is just getting smaller and smaller. When I truly realized how big this truck was, is I drive a flatbed tow truck for a living. I actually parked it next to my flatbed a few days ago. You can see my flatbed is a 5500 Kodiak top kick, so it's not a small vehicle by any means, and this looked just as wide. And that actually brings me into my next point, because my tow truck wastes a lot of gas. This truck gives me, you guys ready? 11.4 miles per gallon. Now, with that being said, you're gonna spend a lot of time here at the gas station. Saw, I do make a lot of trips to the gas station, and like I said, I really only ever put 91 in this thing. I know some of you guys might say you'll be fine with 85, and you probably will, but at this altitude, I feel like 91 is probably the best. This truck, I guess you could call it a high performance truck. You guys got to remember, this truck was made by SVT. So for those of you who don't know, this generation of Raptors is the only Raptor made by SVT. So that's Ford's special vehicle team, the same people who made the Ford Lightning and the Ford Mustang Cobra SVT. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but this truck isn't your regular F-150 or your regular work truck. Now, the tow capacity on a Raptor, the Super Crew Cab, so the 4 door, is gonna be 8,000 pounds. That's pretty good. But compared to your regular F-150 with the smaller motor and everything, that one is 11,300 pounds. That's about 3,300 pounds more than the Raptor. I believe the main thing that hurts the Raptor in towing capacity is the suspension. This truck was inspired by Baja trucks. It's meant to go over dirt roads at 100 miles per hour. That's something you guys need to consider if you guys are looking for a truck to haul things with. Another important thing with the Ford Raptor is that the payload on it is only about 1,100 pounds. Now the regular F-150 has more than double that at 3,100 pounds. So that's 2,000 pounds more that the F-150 can carry over the Raptor. Now, like I said, to me that doesn't matter because I'm not gonna use this truck for work, and if I do, I don't see myself towing more than 8,000 pounds. With everything that I've said so far, it might sound like I'm complaining about the truck, but I'm actually just being transparent about ownership, because I see a lot of videos of the Raptor and they say nothing but good things about it, which it's a great truck. Brings me into my other point, which the reliability of this truck is amazing. There's actually a lot of Raptors out there that are high mileage and still run amazing. For example, this one is at 187,000 miles, nearing 200,000 miles, and the motor's still quiet, the transmission shifts great, there's no clunks. It's still an amazing truck. There's actually this guy on the Raptor forums bragging about his 1,000,000-mile Ford Raptor, which is pretty crazy to think about. Movie's Garage, he has one that has 300,000 miles, and he talks about it being a really good truck still. So if you're in the market for a Gen 1 Raptor, don't be afraid of getting one, you know, with slightly higher mileage, because there's a lot of good deals out there for these trucks now. And the reason for them being really good deals is mainly just because they're higher mileage. Most things that I've talked about might not be a big deal to you. Good if it isn't. I highly recommend you get a Raptor. Now, I never realized how bad the gas mileage really is until I did the math. So this tank holds 36 gallons of gas. Now, if you do the math and you do my average miles per gallon, let's call it 11. Now we'll do 11 times 36. That puts you at 396 miles that you'll get to a full tank. Now it's important to figure out the cost that full tank is going to cost you. So that full tank of gas is going to cost you about $125 where I live. Of 91, that's $3.49. You'll pay $125 to go 396 miles. Until you start paying for it, that's when you really realize how much gas this truck wastes. So do I regret buying a Raptor? Absolutely not. Would I do it again? Yes. I think it's still a great truck. With all that being said, the fuel economy, obviously I knew that getting into it, but I think not a lot of people realize how much money you actually spend on fuel on one of these. And also the fact of it being so big did catch me off guard a little bit, but like I said, it's something that you get used to eventually.